Hi, my name is Dale Maley. I'd like to tell you about a little project I just finished where I kept my old Sears Shop Vac running. A little background on this project. I bought this shop vac clear back in 2009, so it's 16 years old. The Sears model number is shown here, 113.177690. The serial number is also shown here. And what happened was the big red toggle switch, as you can see in the front top of the picture, it just quit working in April of 2025. So to keep it running, I use it to clean up sawdust in my woodworking shop. I went ahead and just hot wired around the broken switch, which means you have to turn it off and on by plugging it into an extension cord and then unplugging it, kind of like a lamp with no switch. It'll work that way. It can be a little bit awkward if you're wanting to turn it off and on very often. Unfortunately, Sears parts pretty much no longer exist, so I went online and tried to find a replacement switch. However, many of the places I checked, including Amazon, said that the only switches they got were cheap Chinese switches that only lasted for 10 activations and they quit. So I finally found a supplier named Carroll Parts, carrollparts.com, and I ordered a replacement switch, and it's their number 73180. The total cost including shipping was about $25. Today I decided to try and see if the new switch would fit and work, and the bad news is you pretty much have to gut the shop vac to get at the switch. So you remove the top from the base. I typically set it on a workbench. Then, like I'm changing the filter, I remove the wing nut, the black plate, and the filter. And then basically remove all the screws that you see up there. And the first step then would be to remove this assembly here, shown on the table of my bandsaw. So the next step is to remove the nut, washers, and the blower ring. Then just remember the order you took them off. You can put them back in the same order. And then before I lift the red piece off, I mark it with a marker so I know what rotation it is when it goes back on the black piece. And also, before you take off that red plastic piece, make sure to remove, there's 2 screws in the center area that are attached to the motor. Take those out. Once you've done that, you should be able to easily lift the red plastic piece off, which exposes the switch. In my photo, you can see the red piece taken off in the top of the picture, and then the bottom has the black piece, which has a switch you want to change. Now you're ready to take out the old switch and put in the new one. But first, you got to remove that big red knob that rotates, and it has tabs on both sides. You have to push those in, and it'll let you remove that big red toggle piece. Now you're down to the switch, and it has side tabs that you have to push on to get them out. I had to use a screwdriver to help me push in the tabs. Once the old one's out, you can push the new switch in, make sure the tabs are locked, and then you can also put that big red toggle piece back in as well. However, I didn't know this, the little red piece sticking out of the new switch, that needs to go in a hole in that big red toggle piece. So kind of look there to make sure you line it up, and then you'll be able to get the big red toggle piece in the right position. On your shop vac, if you didn't hot wire around the switch like I did, then all you need to do is pull the 2 connectors out from the old switch and put them back on the new switch. But since I'd hot wired mine, I'd actually cut the leads before. So I'm trying some new connectors called WGO, W-G-O connectors. They just have a little plastic tab that snaps over into place. So I'm trying those on this application. You could also just use plain old wire nuts and electrical tape as well. Once you've got it wired, then you basically just reassemble the unit. Some closing thoughts on this little project. I'm sure glad I found a source for a replacement switch. And it will be more convenient to use the toggle switch instead of having to plug and unplug the vac from an extension cord. I got my fingers crossed, and I hope the new toggle switch will last 16 years like the first one did. So in summary, this short video explains how to change the power switch on a 12-gallon Sears Shop Vac. I hope this video helps you on your projects, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Please subscribe. Thank you.